Yeah. All right, we got 40 seconds.
All righty.
Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. Move aside and let the man go through. Let the man go through. If I stole somebody else's way.
Welcome to the Hood. You are at WXRW 104.1 River West Radio, and you are in the Hood right now. I'm your host, William Duvall, and I have a special guest today. Welcome to the show, CJ.
Hey, thanks, Bill, for having me.
Oh, you bet. So let's just start right off. As you know, I think my show is about the jail system, and typically, I mean, most of my guests are have visited and have experience in the system. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience and what you do and what you know your experience with respect to the system?
Well, I'm fortunate in the sense that I've never actually been locked up,
Congratulations.
and that's only by the grace of God.
I can't say the same thing.
But I have spent the bulk of my adult working life in service to individuals who are primarily reentering, and folks who are, if they weren't reentering, they were alternative to revocation. So it was like their last shot before they were locked up.
Yes. Where have you been? What do you do? What's your line of work?
Well, right now I work for an organization called JobWorks MKE, and what we do is workforce development with people who are very difficult to employ oftentimes, and folks who are underemployed. And we do a lot of work with guys and women and men who are reentering,
Yeah.
who are coming back into free society.
Okay.
And the obstacles that those individuals face are only getting bigger as there are fewer and fewer services available to assist people. And then with many of the way the laws are written now, they're not qualified for those kinds of services anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when a person's reentering, they pretty much start with nothing.
Yeah, I've met a lot of guys who, you know, just getting locked up for 6-8 months, a year, is plenty of time to lose pretty much everything.
Yes.
Job,
Housing.
your apartment, your place where you're living. The landlord, you know, isn't going to wait for you to pay the rent. You lose all your belongings. They get trash thrown in the garbage, whatever, cleared out. Your car gets towed. I know I had my car towed. It was parked on the street, and it got towed. So job, housing, car, furniture, belongings. And so you come out, and you might not have any money to speak of. You might not have a lot of friends and family. I mean, some people do. I mean, plenty of people do. But I've met guys who have very little in the way of anything. They come out and they are like on a desert. It's like going from being locked up to almost like going to a desert island.
Yeah. Being locked up, being thrown away.
Yeah.
Because they don't have any social resources or financial. And as you said, oftentimes they don't even have clothes.
Right. There's food, clothing, health care, all
place
that
to
stuff.
sleep.
Right. So are you working with someone right now who's just come back out of the system?
I just recently, as a matter of fact, just yesterday, reconnected with a woman who was recently released. And like you said, thank God for her mom, because otherwise she would have nothing at all. Not a place to sleep, no money, no, right now, no job prospects. This is a heck of a time to be looking for a job, even this time of year. Even if you got incredible credentials, who's going to hire you because everybody's on vacation?
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're in that time of year where everybody goes into holiday mode and no one's around. It's heartbreaking to see the impact that it has on people, because oftentimes you have very skilled, very talented individuals who've gotten themselves into a mess one way or another. Oftentimes it's domestic. Things get out, there's a heated argument, things get out of hand, and someone else calls the police. And they come back, like you said, 6-8 months, and everything they had is gone. Even down to proper identification. And if you don't have a ID, that's $38.
Right. So let me ask you about this woman, without, of course, naming any names. So how old is she?
She's approximately 40.
And how long was she locked up?
This time, it was a couple of months.
So she's been in and out of the system many times?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So just a couple of months.
Yeah. And, of course, there's a substance abuse issue, and I believe some mental health stuff as well. But that's neither here nor there, especially, because you can't make people, the other side of this is you can't make people access a service just because that's what you think.
Well, there's a guy in the Oval Office who wants to make people do that.
Well, yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Oh, I know you're not kidding. There's a guy in the Oval Office that I'm just going to say his character is very, very questionable.
Well, anyway, back to this woman. Have you worked with her over the years or just recently?
I have a previous contact with her through the organization where I am now.
Okay. So how are you helping her now?
How I'm helping her right now is I'm assisting her with trying to find resources, just basic things, clothing, access to. I'm encouraging her right now to look at something temporary, to just get some money rolling.
What do you mean, like a temporary job?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she's got to have something. Fortunately she does have family, but they're struggling as well.
So was she at the county jail downtown?
Yeah.
And so when she got, after a couple months there, she got released. Was she able to go home and live with her mom temporarily?
Fortunately, she was able to go to mom.
Well, yeah, that is fortunate. She's 40, and what if mom were dead, or not around, or didn't want her? Because I know a guy whose mom won't let him come home anymore.
I've met many people over the years who had family, and sometimes large numbers of family members. It was just like, we've had it with you.
Right. Well, especially if there's, like you said, substance abuse, which oftentimes there is, and they've been through the mill many times with the drinking or the drug use, and they just can't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, and the unchecked mental health issues, which are usually what's driving the substance use.
So with this woman, you're trying to help her find a job. And what? Clothing, food.
Yeah, she pretty much needs everything. Assisting her with transportation.
Right. Does she have a identification?
Fortunately, she does.
All right. Well, that's something.
Mom was able to help with that.
Okay.
Yeah, mom was able to help with that, but and here we are in the middle of the holiday season, and mom's struggling too. She's on a fixed income.
Right. Right.
And I'm not sure exactly what their living situation is, but I'm sure it's crowded.
Okay.
2 grown women in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right. It's already crowded.
Yeah,
right off the bat.
And I don't know mom well, but I have been, fortunate enough to meet her. But mom has some struggles as well.
Okay.
So I don't know that being in residence with mom is probably the best thing for her right now.
Mm-hmm.
But at least she's safe.
She's off the street.
Yeah, she's safe.
Yeah.
or physically safe anyway. You know, there's no physical threat within the household that I am aware of. But it is, you know, over the years, I've seen individuals whose families have had exorbitant amounts of money also caught in this cycle. And oftentimes it's like the family would rather them be over there in a program somewhere so they don't have to deal with the day-to-day stuff that goes with it. You know, because, I mean, it's hard to live with someone who's in active addiction.
Yeah. No doubt about
It's
that.
a very unpredictable situation. You never quite know
Right.
what's going to happen next because you don't know, and neither do they know what the next move is going to be.
Right.
And so it puts everybody in a, you know, on shaky ground.
Right.
You know, and then when you throw in children, you know, they're of course, most kids love their parents. I mean, it's just normal.
Right.
But when that parent is unreliable due to the addictions and the incarcerations and all the stuff that goes with that lifestyle, it has to be, but we have to have in this system a means to help families, not just the individual. You know, it really doesn't do. I've been involved in a lot of treatment programs over the years. In fact, that's where my certifications lie in substance abuse. And it's like taking a broken toy and putting it back in a kindergarten classroom. You know, within a couple of days, it's going to be broken again. The whole family's got to be involved. The kids need services. The returning adults need services as to how to process this, because the caretaker, whoever's been taking care of the kids, is now in a dilemma because now mom is back
Right. Right.
or dad is back, and who's in charge?
Right. Well, let me ask you this question: how'd you get involved in this line of work?
To be quite honest with you, I started out working with kids.
Where? What were you
in
doing?
recreation,
What-
summer
what-
camps, and
Okay.
community centers and
Parks,
things like that.
park
Yeah,
centers,
yes,
rec centers.
that kind of thing. And it went from there to group homes. And over time, it developed into halfway houses. And I've run facilities for young men and young women who are part of the criminal justice system. So, you know, the juvenile justice system. And that's one thing. The thing that I found over time is that it's very interesting when you're sitting and talking to a 15-year-old boy, and he's telling you about his issues and his concerns, and then you find yourself talking to a 50-year-old man, and they're both telling you the same thing.
Are they living in the same facility?
Sometimes these people don't even know each other. They're poverty, never enough of anything except trouble to go around. And oftentimes, if you don't have somebody to help lift you up or to even point the direction to up, how are you supposed to find that?
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of dead ends. So you got involved at how old were you when you got involved in this kind of work?
I'd say maybe my early 20s.
Okay. And tell me a success story. Tell me a story about somebody who was locked up and you helped them get back on their feet.
I think of a young man. His name is Jose,
Okay.
and
He's a Hispanic guy.
yeah, from local here in Milwaukee,
Okay.
near South Side.
So what was he locked up for?
Jose was involved in some property crimes,
What does that mean?
armed robbery, that type of thing.
Okay.
But he was a decent kid. He was a decent young man,
All right.
and
How old was he?
he was 16 and a half when I first met him.
Okay.
When
All
I
right.
first met
Armed
him.
robbery at 16 and a half. Go ahead.
And he'd been up north,
Okay. At 16 and a half, he'd already been up north?
Yeah, he had
To
a pretty
prison.
colorful. He had a pretty colorful Wales. He had already been to Wales.
He'd been to Wells.
Yeah.
That's a group home for
Yeah,
boys.
Yes, and he'd already been there, and he'd come out, and things were not going well.
So when you say up north, had he been to
Ethan Allen. He'd been to the old Ethan Allen.
Ethan Allen? What's Ethan Allen? I thought that was a furniture store.
No. There was a juvenile facility for
Called
young
Ethan
men.
Allen?
Yes.
Where was that located?
I believe in Wales, Wisconsin.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah. I don't
Up north.
Yeah, north
Okay.
north of here.
Good enough. Anyway, so he'd been up north, and at 16 and a half, he'd been to Wells, he'd been to Ethan Allen, and then you came into contact with him.
What it was is he was sent to the group home.
And what
because
group
he-
home was that?
At the time, I was working for Lutheran Social Services.
Lutheran Social Services. Okay, go ahead.
And he came in, and like I said, he was a bright kid, and he was a capable kid, but he was angry. He was pissed off at the world.
Okay.
And he had reason to be. A single family, single parent household. Mom was doing the best she could.
Okay.
And there were quite a few kids, and he did real well for the first couple of months. And you could just kind of see something was different about him. And so he took off. He just kind of took off out of nowhere, and about 6-8 months later,
So he just disappeared. He
Yeah.
went MIA.
yeah,
Okay.
like I said, he was doing okay.
Now this
but-
wasn't an ATR, was it? No, or and so was he on a sentence of any kind? Or
Well, he
no?
was still on probation. He was still under the supervision of juveniles.
Okay.
Of juvenile probation.
But was he living at this facility that you're
Yes, he was
talking
living,
about?
Yes, he was living at the group home.
But who runs this place? Is it
Like I
public or private or
It was
Lutheran?
funded by Milwaukee County,
Okay.
and Lutheran Social Services at the time was a vendor.
But it wasn't a DOC. It wasn't Department of Corrections facility.
No, but we had many young men there who were from or who were under the supervision of the Department of Corrections.
Well, what I'm asking you is, so when he disappeared, was there a warrant out for his arrest?
Oh yeah, yeah,
There
because
was.
because he was a juvenile. There's always going to be. It's called a capias
Okay.
because you
okay.
have a juvenile out there just kind of on their own.
Okay.
And this was many years ago. But so of course there was a warrant for his arrest. He was not a missing person, but he was a person that they were looking for.
Right.
So that prohibits most kids when they're under the supervision of the state or the county. School is eliminated because that's the first place they're going to look for him. So he was just kind of out here for a while, and he did something, reoffended, and
Got arrested?
got arrested. And because he was, like I said, he'd gotten into trouble, but he really wasn't a bad kid.
Okay.
And so they managed to, between his attorney and his mom, and also myself and my staff, we were like, hey, let's give this kid one more shot.
So at that age, does he have a PO?
Yes.
Okay. So
Oh,
he's got a
yes.
PO involved.
Yes.
A probation officer.
Yes. And the probation officer agreed that he was a decent kid.
Okay.
He was an okay kid, and it was worth giving him another shot.
Okay.
And so that is what happened. He ended up being returned to the group home
Okay.
with us.
From jail to the
Yes.
group home.
And he knew that was all there was. This was his last shot. If you don't get it right this time, brother, they're gonna lock you up for real.
Right.
You're going where the big boys go, and you're gonna sit for. And you're
Well,
gonna
because they'll lock you up at 17. I mean, you think you got to wait till you're 18 or 21? No. They
No.
lock kids up at 17. And they've been doing it for a long time
yeah.
now.
And depending on what they've done, they lock
Right.
them up even younger.
Yeah. Yep.
And
okay.
it's scary.
So he's back with you at the
He
at the
came
group
back,
home.
and he's going to school.
So when you say going to school, does he take classes at the group home, or
No.
where does he go?
Milwaukee Public Schools.
So he lives at the group home, and then he's able to. Do they
Yeah.
bus him to the school, or does he walk to
He
school?
gets up every day and gets dressed and gets on the city bus and he goes to school.
Okay, all right.
And fortunately, he had a teacher who could see his potential as well. And the guy happened to own a store.
The teacher.
Yes, the teacher owned a small business,
Okay.
and he offered the kid a job.
Oh. Okay.
He gave him a shot at
Like
working
a
in this
part-time job after
Yeah.
school or whatever.
Yes, and that's what it was. He had a part-time job, and like I said, he was a pretty bright kid anyway, and he was really interested in engines and motors and that kind of stuff.
All right.
And the guy was able to connect him to some other folks, and Jose ended up going to MATC
Okay.
and doing the certification in auto mechanics or whatever it was.
Okay.
And like I said, this was some years ago, and after that he made the turn. He was able to get gainful. He finished school,
Got a job.
got a job, and was able to to help his mom.
So he finished high school.
Yes.
Right. Then he went to MATC,
Yes.
got a certification or graduated
Yeah,
from
he
there.
graduated. He got a certification in,
Okay.
in something related to cars.
So then
auto
he got a
mechanics.
job working in the auto
He-
repair field.
Yeah, he started working on cars, and he was pretty good at it.
Okay.
So he was working like most guys who got those kind of skills. He was working on the side as well, on the weekends, and he did pretty well for himself. And he was able to help his mom.
So where is he now? Do you know?
Haven't seen Jose in years, but the last time I saw him, I bumped into him in Target,
You bumped into him on the street, basically.
Yeah.
You bumped into him at a Target.
and it was himself and his wife.
So how many
And their
years
small baby.
after he graduated, say from MATC, would that have been roughly?
Oh my God.
10 years?
Yeah, I'd say a good 10, 15 years. Because I didn't even recognize him. He recognized me.
So so he recognized you. You bumped into each other. He's married.
Yes.
Did you meet the wife right
Yes,
there?
I did.
And
Yes,
did
I
they
did.
have kids?
They had one little baby.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
because I'll never forget it. I was in the store and I was shopping and I noticed this gentleman kept looking. He kept looking at me, and finally he says, "Miss Jackson, do you remember me?"
What'd you say?
And then I stopped and I actually looked at him,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of chuckled and I was like, "I remember a boy.
Right.
You, sir, are a man."
Okay.
And he said, "You know what?" He said, "It's me, Jose, and I want to tell you thank you." And I was like, "Thank me for what?" He says, "Because you were he says, "I remember how hard you fought for me. You actually went to bat for me, and it made a big difference in my life. Because if you guys hadn't taken me back at the group home, I don't know what would have happened."
Might have gone to jail.
Yeah, more than likely, because there was not a lot of other places for a kid in that situation to go to.
That's got to feel good. Did that make you feel good? How'd you feel?
It made me feel good that he was okay.
Yeah.
That he was okay, and that he'd actually become a productive
Right.
guy. He was
Part of society.
Yes, he was an everyday citizen, and I always said, I asked him, I said, "So are you gonna help? Have you ever thought about talking to kids who are in trouble?"
And what'd he say?
He was like, "I've thought about it, but between work and trying to take care of a family,
Right.
It's hard."
Yeah.
But he did say to me, if I ever get the opportunity to talk to a kid or to try and help a kid who's struggling, I'd be happy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Did you all exchange information?
No, because that's not appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not appropriate. But he did ask me where I was working at the time, and I did share that.
Okay.
And once or twice he did reach out.
Oh, okay.
And the other person that I would talk about is a young woman, and her name, I would just say her name was, let's say her name was Betty.
Okay.
And Betty was an ATR. This was adult services.
Alternative to revocation.
Yes.
To all my listeners out there.
Yes. And this was it. She had to get it right or no.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it was over.
Well, you get revoked, which means you go to jail and
Yes.
serve your sentence.
She had 2 daughters, and this particular facility, this particular halfway house, specialized in substance abuse treatment.
What was the name of this halfway house?
This was the Ark House.
Where is that located?
It was on 10th and Madison.
Okay.
It was on 10th and Madison Street. And I'll never forget what she said to me. And by that time, I had been working in the field for 20 plus years. And she said to me, and I'd heard this many times, but she said, if somebody would give me a chance, just one chance, because I'm done with the drugs. I'm done. This last overdose scared the heck out of me, and I'm just done.
What was her DOC? Drug of choice?
Her drug of choice was heroin.
Well, when you said overdose, I assumed, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to ask. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Well, she was what we call an all-star. She would try.
She's an
would do, yeah,
all-star.
she'd do it all, whatever she could get. But her preference was heroin.
An all-star. I like that.
Yeah, she was an all-star. She, whatever you got.
She'd
Take it. I know how to do that.
She could do it. Okay.
And she overdosed, and this was her second one.
Okay.
And it scared her. It must have scared her because
Well, that's good to hear.
yeah, we took her in. I took a chance on her, and she came in, and she went to work. She went to work, and what I mean by she went to work is she went to work trying to figure out herself what is actually going on here. She took her treatment serious. She became involved in NA and AA and those kinds of support groups, community support. She was very close to. She got a sponsor right away, which is usually a surprise because she got a sponsor on her own, and that's usually something that you have to make them do. Initially, you have to make them get that sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she got a sponsor.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it's
That's
a very good sign.
It's a good sign.
And she currently is in the process. Well, she's pretty far along in the process now of becoming a substance abuse counselor herself, and she works for one of the local community service organizations.
How long has she been since you got involved with her until now?
Oh,
how many years is
It's probably
that?
been about 6-8 years now.
So she's been clean for that period of
Yes,
time. That's
yes.
great news.
Yes, she has gotten custody of her 2 daughters.
Oh, that's great.
And the daughters are doing much better because
Oh,
that
no.
oldest one was a piece of work. She was all over the place. She tested her. That child tested her mom because she was like, I've heard all this before.
Yeah.
Let's see what you're gonna do this time.
Sure. Well,
And-
you can understand that perspective.
Oh God, yeah. And like I said, I think what made the difference is Betty was ready.
Betty was ready.
Yes, Betty had decided she'd had enough, and as a facility, as a service provider, we tried our best to wrap as many services around Betty and her children as we possibly could. And fortunately, she took advantage of every opportunity.
Well, that's great. That's a great story.
She took advantage of every opportunity.
Well,
And it was crazy because at that point, just speaking for myself, I'd heard that drag so many times. I'm done and this, that, and the other. But it was a beautiful thing to see that young woman decide she wanted something else.
well, that's a great story to wrap up the show with, CJ. Gosh, I feel like we're just at the surface here. We could talk for hours and hours. I'm sure you've got a lot of stories. Well, thank you so much for coming on, CJ.
Hey, thank you for having me.
It was great to have you on. And will you come back sometime?
Sure, I appreciate
We
the opportunity.
We could do it again.
Yeah.
Talk about some more.
Yeah, I like for people to hear that. Yeah, it works if the person's ready, but the services have got to be there.
Thank you, CJ. Happy holidays, everyone. This is your host, William Duvall. You've been in the hood. Peace out.